Shall I start?
Yep, sure.
Mm. A very good evening to you all. We warmly welcome you to our session, Frontend Development Beginner's Guide. Today we are excited to take you on a journey through the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the building blocks of web development. So this session is designed to be fun, interactive, and beginner friendly. So whether you are just starting out or looking to strengthen your foundations, you are in the right place. We are thrilled to have Kavishka Sashmita, a software engineering intern at T-Tech, and a third year software engineering undergraduate, who will be sharing his knowledge and expertise with us. Feel free to engage, ask questions, and make the most of this learning opportunity. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Over to you, Kavishka.
Thank you, Miriam. I think I'm audible and you can see me. So, hey everyone. So, whether you are, as Miriam said, if you are a beginner or someone just looking to brush up your solid foundations, you are in the right place. So, we're gonna go through the very basics of the web development and front end development. So, I'll share my screen without further ado. So, okay. So, here you are in introduction to front-end development. So first of all, I will introduce myself. I'm Kavishka Sashmita, as previously said, currently intern software engineer at T-Time. I'm third year undergraduate doing software engineering specialization. So let me guide you through the front-end development from the very basic. So basically, what is the front end? Okay, so when we talk about the front end, like, okay, so think of it like a front window of the of a store. Okay, so it's a part of the website or app that anyone see first. Okay, so I'll just get through in the very basic. So hear me well. So the anyone who come into the website or web app, what he see first is the front end, which is more in which makes the first impression that invites you in to the website or a web app. So front-end development is all about creating a visual interface and interactive elements that makes digital experience engaging. So as I said, it's basically like a when you take like a example as a store, what you see first, some menus and some nice fancy chairs and things, what you attracted. These are the same as the web. What you see, the interactive elements and like nice color backgrounds and buttons and many things, videos and interactive things, which will attract you into the website or web application. So guys, in here, like since you are a beginner, not just the front end developer, I would like to cover through like most of the environment as a web developer or anything like around this. What are the roles that have and what is the specialty of being a front end developer? So in the web industry, and I mean the software and those industry, there are a lot of roles. So from the start, if you have like yeah if you have questions, you can ask in the question and make in the chat as well. I will give you some explanation about those things. So here we are on the front end development part, and when we talk about the SDLC method, they are the basics fundamental of the software development. So in there are like roles, business analysis and further project management and front end developer, back end developer, quality assurance engineer. There are a lot of developers and lot of members that taking part of a software development process. So as a role of a front end developer, what he is doing, basically he's the one who shaping user experience and the user experience and the visual effects of the web application. So basically, every single web pages and web-based things based on these three languages, HTML, CS, and JavaScript. These are the main blocks of a web page and web applications. So as a front-end developer, they have to collaborate with uh, their business analysts and stakeholders of the company and so on, and they have to work with frameworks and integrations. They'll do more than coding, so they have to optimize the web pages and think about the speed and accessibility and making sure that users can navigate smoothly and regardless of internet and abilities. Like, so basically, as a front-end developer, you should able to just make application someone can just go and do things like without having a good cognitive level. So that's what front-end developer is doing basically. So, and the importance, it's really important. Whatever you first see in anywhere, not just in this industry, when it's you go to like a restaurant, what you first see is the first impression that really matter. So if you see like good vibe there, you go on the restaurant and just try out. Likewise, so there are some websites that you may never go again because so hard to find things around. So that's a bad user experience. So it's really matter. So it's basically front end is the thing that bridge between this design and functionality. That means if you have a good backend means something that user cannot see. So also front end is called like client side functions. So what clients see. So the backend is like he's not seeing that, but it's really crucial because all the logical things and security and most of the things going on the backend. So i- the front end is the thing that fill the gap between user and the backend. So from the front end, user can easily access and do their things. So here are some other important things like user experience. I have already mentioned that, and brand image and identity and accessibility. So any user can access without any interruptions. So these are the importance when you just go into the front end, you should focus on. So yeah, there are like two type of web sites and web application. You might doesn't have idea about these things. Website is basically something like this. Yeah, let me get into one. Yeah, here are some developer beginners guides. I will share you these resources as well. In here, you don't have any interactions. Like it's a basically like a portfolio which shows you some of like informations like news site. If you have seen news sites and portfolios, those are just sharing you some information that doesn't have any interaction. So some of restaurant also have that you can't do anything like login sign up or any functionality is not in there, but they just do their like most of news and the Wikipedia and all of most of those are websites, which means they doesn't have any interaction, that basically doesn't have any interaction. So like ERP system, things like this, which has signing and so many functionalities over there. So which has those type of functionality is a web application basically. So we'll compare it. Here in the websites, it's a collection of static or interactive pages. It's just a basic web pages that you can't just go there and do some things like filling forms and like getting data, do the analytical things like that of things you can't do in the websites. But in web applications, uh, is another side which has all the functionalities. I give you some example. This it's a Udo, it's a ERP system. So the at So web application allows user to interact, input data, and receive responses. So interactivity level is really limited for websites, but in web applications, it's another side. So it's high, and there are so many functions that you can do. Okay, so here are some examples here. So these are some tools and software that you should familiar with when coming to web development and front end development. So this is VS Code, which is a IDE VS Code, and the Sublime Text, which used to code basically what you see in the websites and web applications, where we used to build those things. Basically, is IDE and the Google, and there are some browsers which we can access those created files and see uh, the view of that. And Figma is one uh, tool that normally UI UX designers use for designing your interfaces and do some interactions. And Git is something called version control system, which allows you to make a versions of your software, which will really help you in your software journey. So I just put all these things just for uh, tell you that there are these are some tools and softwares uh, that you're gonna use through in your web journey, and you don't need to know all of this. And it's better if you have some yeah. uh, is there any question? So an npm is a package managing tool which used to manage manage packages. Like if you're like interested in React and learn those type of framework which will help you to easily install those uh, modules and packages and work with it. And here are other things like Bootstrap and Tailwind, which is CS frameworks. I will go through on those things as well. So yeah, we just cover up some most of the things. So let's get into some works. Okay. So building blocks. I think mentioned about these three: HTML, CS, and JavaScript, which is the primary thing that you should know when you come into web development or front end development. It doesn't matter if you are a software engineer, if you want to be a software engineer, whatever, uh, in the IT industry, this is the really basic that you should know: HTML, CS, and JavaScript. So whatever you see in the web pages when you go Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, I mean, using a web browser, all those website or web application build on these three technologies. So let's see what is the use of these three, and what is the usability of these three things. So HTML means like it's the basic structure which will give you some like plan. Like we take a example here as a car. Okay, so in here there are some, you see, lot of structures. There are a lot of structures like wheel and some doors and windows, and those parts are basic structure. Just because we have a structure, it doesn't mean it's going to be a nice product. So we need some styles. So CS used for that, basically style the structure. Now we have a car that designed quite well and have some colors and on it, but if it doesn't work, it really not good. So basically we need JavaScript in the web based things to, sorry for the interruption, I guess. Yeah, so are you visible the presentation? I think it's
Yes, Kavish, it's visible.
yeah, that's fine. Okay, so for JavaScript, I was talking about JavaScript. So it used for interactivity. So basically, if you build a car, if it can't drive or accelerate and clutch, using clutch and those things, like if you can't accelerate and just handling, if you can't do these things, it doesn't feel like it's nothing. Okay, so JavaScript uh, play the same role in the web application. So it do the interactivity of the web application. So yeah, let's start. Okay, so HTML, which is standard for hypertext markup language. There are some other one called XML as well. Uh, it's also a markup language which you use to struct the data of the website. So it's, I already said that it's a structure, and it consists of a series of elements. So here is a one basic HTML document. We're gonna go through this web structure and see what it inside and how it's gonna work. So here you see the doc type and HTML, which means it defines the HTML5 structure is going to work on this document. So here we have HTML tags. One is open HTML tag and a closing HTML tag. In here, there's a thing called DOM, which is working on a web application. Like we are just doing the scripts and uh, how the tree is working, and it's gonna appear on the website, which use DOM. So we will talk about that in next slides. So here we have head section, which is basically you don't see it. I mean, you mean it like here in the head. What you see in this? Can you see that dashboard and JetBrains and OpenSource ERP? What you see? It's the title of the head normally. Okay, so here we define metadata. Basically, it uh, it really help you to identify your application in organically from the SEO and things on, and it's automatically using metadata. We can just make the responsiveness of the web application. Basically, when we define these things, it get the scale of the our device, and we use that for the header section and the title. I previously mentioned the title section, basically name of the web page here. At the body section, where we do the things, all things like content and so on. In here, there are some many tags. I will go through in those things as well. Uh, Before that, I would like you to introduce about HTML structure and tags. Tags maybe in the practical section. We will do some practicals as well in here. So stay with me uh, until the very end. So here in HTML, this is the basic tree structure. Here we have head and body section separately. So I have mentioned about the head section and the body section. This is how the tree structure is in the HTML, and which is called the DOM. If you heard about the DOM, when you go into the JavaScript, in there we can just change these DOM elements using manipulate. We can manipulate those DOM as well. We'll see that in later. So this is the tree structure. So here we have, like head, I already said that, and we have like two type of, when we defining or structure, there are like mainly two types of structures: semantic HTML and non-semantic HTML. If you have some experience on HTML, you may use all all the things in the div. Like here we have these tags called div. In there you just use class or things to define those as main and things. Rather than that, we have like already predefined tags for each section. When you're using this semantic model, there are some advantages that you can take. Like in here, it automatically adjusts the mainly adjust the structure, and they will identify uh, according to that. Like when you make good structure, that means in like if someone searching your website on the uh, Google or some browser, uh, it's really nice if you have this semantic HTML is uh, using HTML, semantic HTML. So from there, like you will not have an interruption in like when you're using different browsers, you will not get some any issues when using semantic HTML. So yeah, let's see some HTML. Okay, I go to here. I already just uh, coded someone. It doesn't matter. We will bring up a new one. So you have it's better if you have a ID. Else you can just use text editor, but it's better you're just starting the journey. So use IDs. So there are lot many IDs right now in the uh, world, like JetBrains, which you can use easily predefined things there, like React or any framework. If you love to just without doing like many npm installation and things, you can easily set up those files using IDs like JetBrains, IntelliJ, and there are some others. You can just search it. So this is also a nice tool which have so many extension. So in here, you should have a live server which is which allow us to see the live uh, output of a HTML file. After you have installed this, you will have a uh, extension over here like appear. After you go to HTML file, it will show the port is. You can just dispose it and go live, and you can see what your HTML is look like. So in here, if you can use shortcut. This is in abbreviation. Uh, Simply a explanation mark, and when you enter, you will have a basic HTML elements. As I already mentioned you about the each tags usage. In here, I don't think I just mentioned these Unicode systems. Like when you're using, there are some Unicodes, like when you're using fonts and things, you can just clarify those things first. So here we have head separately and the body section separately. So here we have like H1 and H2 like type of things. Tags we can just use for headings. We use it for heading. So as you can see, this is quite smaller and this one is quite big. Okay, so it's a one tag, and there are some other tags like tags. That's enough. So P is used to just use to generate like paragraphs basically. And when you need to get a inputs, normally we use like forms for that. And here our paragraph and things, like you can just go through. I will share you a document, and you can either use W3 school and things like that for further references. So there are some more things you have to learn. So basically, we just covered this one, and the text formatting I just I think I did those things in here. Like when you use strong in here, you can just yeah. I'll show it. We're gonna use the bold bold function, like bold your section here like this. So it's better if you don't need to use this. Like when you started know about the CSS, we can do it in CS. So don't use these strong type of things. Just for your know just you not need to know about these things. So I just cover the tags. Basically it has like breaker, line breakers, or horizontal lines. Those are the things. And when you need to make a list, there are two type of list here: unordered list and ordered list. You can use for show the list. And the links, you can use anchor tag for links. Like when you need to navigate somewhere else, you can use that tag. Or say, yeah, we can use Xref for that. And here when we click this, it will direct into another page that we have using anchor tag. We just define that into another link. So these are the basics, and I'm not gonna go through every single tag, and it's a waste of time, I guess. And we have like images and tables, forms. You should know about this. These things are using in the industry. So yeah, these are some basics of tags that you should know in the HTML. So here we have something, but it's not nice. It's so like feel like nothing. Just there's no style and it's not look good, I guess. So here we have the CSS part, which means which used to style the your previous HTML structure. And here I'm gonna go through few CSS tags as well, things as well. CSS standards for cascading style sheets, and it basically the thing is doing like it's styling the your structure of your HTML. And you can import in three ways. We'll see that. Uh, and this is like the basic syntax of a CSS when you're using. In there, this is the selector, which if you can remember, like we use tags, so we can use those tags or class IDs. I will show you in the next practical things. uh, you can just use those selectors and we can define some styles from this block. So there are three type of importing CSS. Like we can use directly it in the inlines, and we can use internally use style stacks. So and externally, normally it's a best practice if you can use sorry it in the external. So we'll see it. So let's try to do some crazy thing. So here uh, I just already just created some small image over here. I'm gonna get through that. So here, basically, I think in here have doesn't any style of things. Yeah, we have like non-interactive just thing. So basically, I want to like make this button more nice. So the thing that you want to do is first, like normally we can just define here like a class and IDs. From here, normally when we styling, when we use to style, we just can do either ID and I'm just talking about the external. Okay, first we'll just try to make the CSS file, which you can easily uh, create like this using CSS. and you don't have to install any JS or CSS. It's pre-built in any OS, any format. You can access those files in browsers, as I previously mentioned. So you can select this element in tag, like you can use button tag for that, and as well as id or class. Like here we can do a button or something. But if we like just do something here in here, if you're using like id, you have to use hashtag instead of the dot one, and instead of the full stop mark, you can use hash for this. So here I've just add some buttons. Let's see if it's appearing. Nothing happened. So how we can connect these two? So for that, we are going to index and link this. Normally, this type of files we link like this. We use link tag to link those styles and things like that. So basically, in here we have to give the file path style.css. Why we are doing that in link instead of body? It's gonna work if we put it in the body event, but normally when in the rendering part, when you like rendering the web page, it's a best practice to use head, because it's normally rendering first. So let's see if there anything changed. Yeah, we have a nice button, I guess. Okay, so you can just uh, if even we change this is to this into button, we add that another button just to show you. So yeah, so we have another button, but it doesn't have that changes like that. If you want to make same button style for uh, both of those, either you can use same like class, or you can use like button here. When you're selecting those elements, like directly, if you're accessing into selecting these elements in tags or elements in the HTML, you don't have to use any hash or full stop mark for that. So here we have the both look fine, I guess. Yeah, so we can just here also we can just use a class and para, and we can just, yeah, I'll change it to ID, so you can try as well. Here you can access the para from that one as well. So here it's not visible. We can change the color here. So yeah, likewise. So this is not that nice. Okay, so don't do these things like this. So I just want you to know about the selectors, how select those things and style those things. Uh, okay. I think I just covered some most of the stuff in the style, but in this case, don't you feel like overwhelmed? Like when you like styling this type of thing, like it's better if we have a predefined thing, which where we can use frameworks for that. Instead of doing those styles, there are some predefined styles framework which we can uh, easily use and do the responsiveness and most of the part of CS doing. Like in here, if we talk about the CS, here are some list of essential CS things that you should know as a beginner. CS syntax, I covered that, and how you're gonna link those CS, and how you select those elements. I just covered those as well. ID like this, and universal selector. I think I don't have covered that one. You can use like what it call asterisk mark for select all the elements of your web page and do things. And grouping selector, like as I said, like you can use these type of things, like select these all the elements, these elements to same style. And this is some another one, like you if you're accessing like mm, this type of thing, right? You have a div, let's go. Div is some, basically div is like something like box. When you styling there's a box model. uh yeah, I'll cover it up in here also. Yeah, this is like a box, it's working like a box. So in here inspect, you can see those styles as well in here. Okay, so here's the box. These HTML elements, you can see that working like boxes. Okay, in there you can do some styles like margin. Margin is something outside of the box. Like uh, let's add some margin here so you can better understand this. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here, since it's only the div we have. Uh, I'm gonna call it directly. So you see, it the thing it does is here, if you can remember, like in previously, I'll remove it. It was in here, and now it is in here. Like we select it. Okay, so the thing it does is using margin. Margin one is this allows you to make a margin on of every four single uh, sides, like from the top, bottom, right, and the left. It getting margin from the wall page 40 pixels away. Likewise, using padding, what it does is it's just adding some can you see, like the basics thing that it does is inside the box it's gonna expand this inside the inside box. So you can see better, I think, if we can use it in the button section. We haven't done that. So you can see that like it was really small before. I think uh, previously we have used that padding, but it deprecated because we have defined that in later on also. So without padding, it's look like this. Using padding, it's look like this. So basically, thing it does is it increase the size of, like, if you're using like paddings in x and y axis like this, it look like this. Okay, so basically I think you got a idea how this work is. It's basically the inside the box, it's going to change the style. Okay, I think I have covered most of the stuff in CSS. So here are some other things that you can use. I just cover this one as well. Body is like the outline of the view, and styling text and things. You can just go on this stuff. These are some advanced things like flex, flexbox, which used to, like, when we have a design, we have to just define that what is the layout we are gonna uh, go through and how to design these things. And this is a transition and transforms, which used to, like, when you like, you can do some stuff like hovering and things like that. Hover and some transition when when you move into a some button, it's gonna be like, can we can just use pointer. Yeah, I think someone has a question. Yeah, you can just unmute and ask. I have installed live server and just click the box auto update, but it's not showing automatically. It because of maybe you don't have you maybe haven't used this one in autosave. It might be your index file is not saved. That's why the live server was not working. Maybe please check that out. So yeah, I guess we were in this here section in the transition and transform. Okay, so uh, let's try to add some another one called of department. So this is like uh, this is some advanced thing. You will know not much advanced thing. This is like automatically, like CS has these methods which will automate when we come into I will show you when we come into the uh, our button, it will change the color as as you can see. Okay, so you can use hovering effect for that. Those type of thing is in there, so you can use those as well. So here I think I have got like some basics of things, like fundamental things, but this is not nice. Okay, so but I just want you to give some basic things that how these things works and go around, and you can just play around it and do some crazy stuff. Now let's talk a little bit about frameworks, how the frameworks are working, CS frameworks. So when you are using frameworks, you don't have these difficulties of defining these styles again and again. It has already defined a set of styles. You can directly use it. So I'm gonna go through some, yeah, the basic one. Maybe yeah, I will use instead of Tailwind, maybe yeah, Bootstrap is better for you. This is Bootstrap. This is Bootstrap framework. This is CS framework, which already have defined those things. If what we have done in the CSS, we use vanilla CSS for define the styles, uh, this, this, define the styles. Instead of that, we can access directly using this type of CS framework. We can do that styles very easily. Let's see how it's gonna work. Give me a minute. So how we can import this? We can, if you're like using frameworks, we can install these things using npm, pnpm, yarn, or things like that. In here, for your level, I guess it's better if you can just play it with CDNs. So yeah, I'll see CDN links over here. So CDN is the thing it's doing is uh, it's gonna add your CSS or styles directly to your index, but you have to use internet for get those styles. So yeah, here directly we can just copy out this. Can import that into our HTML file. So now we have successfully added some bootstrap into our project. So here things have already defined. I think you have remember that styles we have previously we had. Let's see what happened now. Yeah, nothing happened. I guess give me a minute. Let's see. Maybe doesn't again. Maybe if I just haven't had something. Uh, yeah, I think I just made something wrong. Mm, we have at the two head section. Okay, so here I just directly use that. I think it because of we haven't had that script file as well. We have to add that one as well, I guess. Okay, instead of that, yes, let's get into that code here. So if you like add that type of things, the document will nicely instruct you to how to import those things and work around with those things. So in here, when you go to documents, they just give you some nice things like nice tutorials and things you can how to import these things and work on. So I don't think we have added all those things. Anyway, that's fine. Uh, Now we have like predefined hello world function. So yeah, and we add a button. Right? So yeah, this is the normally styling task. I just forgot it. That's what the issue is. So we can style that quickly without just going through the CSS and giving some script. We can just quickly customize those things. So in here, let's search some button. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so we can use any of those here, like directly. If you can remember in previously, we had that hover animations and transition and colors and things. Instead of that, in the button one, we can just in the class define these things and we can see the output. So there are so much things in the, you see, we have done nothing, just adding some classes in here. That's what we all done. This one is default. I just little bit confused that was the issue in there. So likewise, you can add cards and things around it. Go to these type of frameworks. They have nice documents. You can just read it and play around with it. Do some things like you can get inspo from Behance or maybe Pinterest and just search it, get a UI design and try to do it by yourself using these CS frameworks. I think you got something out of these CS frameworks. Likewise, we have done nothing. Like it has nice UIs and already we can just use it without many interruptions. Okay. Uh, so I think you had some nice understanding of uh, how to import the how to import CS framework into your project. Like that was one way. Another way I have mentioned, like you will be able to understand those things in our in further when you using it. Uh, so we have everything, but no interaction. Like we have nothing. Like we just have static something, nothing happened. nothing happens. So there's no use of it. So that's what coming is to play. JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language. So okay, the previous things are not programming languages. It used to like HTML is a markup language and CS is a basically styling language type of thing. So JavaScript is a programming language. So uh, it's a interpreted programming language, which means it compiles line by line. So line by line, and it can just over can update the both HTML CSS like dynamically. So we had something static, but instead of that static thing, we can just use JavaScript for update those things. We will go around these things as well. It can calculate, manipulate, and validate data and so many things. Why we are going to use this JavaScript? So basically, we was talking about the web development. When we talk about the front end, okay, so like 98% of the developments are doing the uh, by JavaScript and their frameworks. So basically, there's no other option. Like every single developer should able to do things with JavaScript, and it's quite easy to understand and no setup required. And there are huge community, thousands of frameworks, libraries which you can use freely, and they are most of them are open source. So it's easy, basically, really easy to uh, get around. And yeah, so these are some JavaScript basic. I guess you had some understanding of programming language. Basically, uh, some idea about C++ or something. The same thing in here. Those variables, data types, operators, functions, comments, and those things also in here. We will go through in few of them as well. And one important thing that I need to mention. If you can remember, I just told you about the DOM, the tree structure in the HTML. In here, we can manipulate that. That means we can just change those things like elements. We can just access that HTML and CSS and change through the programming and events. According to user actions, like when if we like click the button, we can add an interaction for that. So else he's like typing, uh he can just according to that on creepers or any event, we can just add an action for that. So basically, JavaScript is the thing that do the actions. So let's get into some work, I guess. So we had some more theoretical things have talked about. So let's get and see how these things works. Yeah, I just covered some basics. Mm, I'm guessing that you might have a good idea about the basics of programming, but it, uh, it doesn't matter. But I'll go through few basic things as well. Uh, yeah, I just talk about the interactions and usage of that and environment setup. Like already have that thing here, and we can see the things from the console log from using F12 or like I just previously done the inspect. In there is a tab called console. We can see the works from there as well. I will show. So yeah. Okay. So let's create a script here. Okay, so basically, in here as well, here you can just add it using script like this, and you can add the script file in separately and add that into your file. So normally, some people add that in here and the body section. It really doesn't matter, but it's better if you can use it in here because it will render first then. So here we have that script file. Let's see if it's working. So how we can see that if it's working or not? Let's go to inspect and the console. Here we have successfully write our first program. Okay, so script is load. So now we can work on script.js file instead of mm, using this. So I have talked about much about DOM. Let's see how it works. Okay, so in here normally we can add an ID for this one, and we can just uh, read this on a script and change it by using uh, this command. Like document get element by ID is used to get element ID, and we can just add like in HTML. What do you think will happen? Here, the thing basically happen is we just read those ID in the para, and it will show the file. In here, there's error, so there's no ID. See, which is correct, but yeah. However, uh, so let's get in some basics and let's get into that. I think I just have to add some other functions as well in here to work on. Yeah, okay. Anyway, uh, yeah, okay, that's fine. That okay, script for that. Let's give it that. Yeah, yeah, some issue. Yeah, very nice. That's please not reading. I think I have removed that button closing tag. No, that's not the issue. Yeah. Okay, so basically there's some issue. I guess I just my script tag. Yeah, add that. So okay. Likewise, let me explain this. So a little bit you just confused just because of my uh, mis coding. So here the thing is basically you can just access this. Okay, so using ID, we just get that ID and we just here this is quite not understandable, I guess. So this is quite hard to understand for you guys, I guess. So it's not easy to also, you know. Okay, so here basically that what I have done is I have accessed the para tag in here, and I just got the element and I have just changed. There's nothing here. I have statically defined. So in here in the script, I just get those that element and I just change that. Uh, I just change that tag in here. So this is how it working, and you can just go through in this document and just read it and do these things by yourself. And I'll just go through in this ones quite little bit and let's try to make something interesting. Okay, so here first, if you can remember that I have already a predefined like pre-get just these two images. Now we're going to make like bulb, like light bulb, which is when we click the button it's gonna on and off. So let's do that. So in here, I'll add the function to change this. First, I'll add load the image here, bulb one. So here we have a bulb. Now I just want to do this. When we click here, I'm gonna change this picture. So for that, I'm gonna make a function. Change the image. Here around, I just normally this is how you can just add the function. And here I will get the image first. For that, we can use document dot get element by ID, and we gotta get image. So what its name? Yeah, and that name. So in here I'm gonna add name my image. Okay, that's fine. So we have that image. Now in here they already have a suggestion. Okay, so uh, in here what it does is image source gonna match is like a string function that already built in JavaScript, which gonna search the src and match and change the bulb into this one. If this is the bulb uh he he found the bulb. If it's bulb, then it's gonna change, and we need a else statement as well. So basically these are the if else condition. Like in here, if this happen in the resources, it's going to change it to off. And if else, if it's not image resource, we're going to change into bulb on. So basically now when click the button, it should on and off. Let's see if it's happened. Maybe give me what was wrong. Yeah, everything is correct. I guess. our yeah, quite silly. We have add that function, but we haven't called that. That's why it's not working. So we have to call that function. How are we gonna call that? We're gonna add that function over here in let's get on click function for that, and change the image function is download. So this is how it's working. Now it's gonna work finally. So that's basically what it does. I think you got something out of this, and you can try more on. Since I just learned this quite a long time ago, I just don't remember something. So sorry about the uh, miss miss by coding parts. Okay, so I just want to give you some live experience. So that's it. So here are some application that you can just try it out, and I'll just give you some exposure how you can do it. This is basic word count application. This is for like basically it does the thing is counting the word as an initial. You can just try out this type of small application, and just onwards you can try other things, other application like big scale. Just start from the very basic. uh, don't use GPT for this in your initial things, or any LLM. Try it by yourself. When you're doing it by yourself, you will have a you will encounter some errors, and you can find it. I will put some resources. I will share this with you, and in here there are some many resources, more than enough to build incredible apps. So here this is one application that you can make. In here basically the thing that doing is it has a normal h1 tag, and it has a div body container, and in there's a two part. I just separated into two part, and in here we have some small uh, like background with element paragraph one, and here we have text area tag. When we type in, it should change. So the function it does is basically it's getting the word count in here text area, and I have at the event listeners. I'll just talk about the event listeners. When you inputting the words, it's gonna catch it, and we use trim for remove the front and the back spaces. Likewise, when you like doesn't have a trim one, these things you can just search it on Google. And like when you're doing a project, if you don't know something, just don't go to GPT first, and just try to search those things in W3 school and some other resources I will provide you. You can just search those things in there. In here, when we get a space, they count it as a character. So we want to remove that. For that, I've used stream, and here we get a nice little one small function here. It will just when we getting a space, it will count it. So you can just try it out. And another example that I have made for you is this scramble game. This is quite a huge one. In here, the thing it does is basically uh, it will give you some scrambled words. You can use mat random call function for get this. You can use array for store these words, and you can using random math random method. You can just jumble it. You can just search those things and try out these things. Like yeah, if we check the answer, if it's wrong, it's gonna give try again, and if we gonna give the right one, it's gonna give us a score, and it's gonna go to the next word, like that type of small thing. Even though I just give you some foundation and basics of the HTML, CS, and JavaScript, you can build these type of nice thing. just try out, and you will end up with nice things. So here's this basic function. And if you can just remember the Chrome dinosaur, that one also you can build just using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In there, the function is going like this. When you can use function called on key press when we on key press or on key up. I don't really remember what exactly good for that. So you can add those listener when you uh, like pressing the space. The object is going margin 20 pixel or somewhat up, but the object is your dinosaur, your character is on same spot, your background is moving. That's what the basically thing it does. You can just try out those things, and I will try to share you some basic to advanced level projects that you can do using this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. By the way, we just coming to an end of this, and I will share you this. And here you have very basic things, and in the real world, you will not use these things, not not use, but yeah, it will support you to understand advanced things. So initially, you should know all of these things from the very basic. I think I have covered up so many things, and we just build the word, not build. I just give you some code review and how you should follow that and gonna uh, achieve your uh, project success. So I think you got some idea about the front end. This is how the things is working, and you can just play around with these things. You have foundation, and you basically the thing that we want to cover here give you some initial start for your project. So get a head start for your creative things coming to real life. So we just put you some basics and what are the things this has, and I think I just covered some practical knowledge as well, and I also tried some, yeah. Sorry about that, because I haven't used recently. That's why just not familiar. But when you using this, it's not a difficult case. So yeah, we come to an end of this session, and if you have question, you can ask. Yeah, it's time for just end up this session. So I guess if you have a question, you can ask. Either you can add it to chat. Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll put the recording. I guess is it going on? On yeah, recording.
Yeah, we'll be sharing the recording on YouTube, and the links will be shared on our socials, software engineering student community socials. So I have added the link where you can access them, so you can keep them followed to get
I think
them.
you got something out of this. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think we fine. Nah? I just cover all the very basic things and some practical as well. Yeah, you can just use GPTs for your things, but not directly for coding and things. Uh, in the initial, yeah. So we're gonna wind up this session, I guess. For now, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for doing this session, and I hope everyone got a very good understanding on how these things work. and we'll be doing a little more advanced session as well in the coming future. So to get those, stay tuned with the software engineering student community. And it was a very good session. Yeah. uh, Thank you, Kavishka, and thank you all for attending.